Hey everybody, Chef Britt here with atbbq.com, and today we're making Smokehouse bacon. So bacon is one of those ingredients that can enhance the flavor of any dish, whether it's the main attraction or part of the supporting cast. And it's relatively easy to make and a great introduction into the world of charcuterie. So I'm going to be guiding you through the entire curing process, and then we're going to smoke it on the YS640S pellet grill. Let me show you how we do it. So our basic smokehouse cure starts with 2 parts salt, 1 part sugar. Today I'm using brown sugar because I love the flavor it adds. But we're also going to be adding a little bit of this cure mix from LEM Backwoods here. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the curing process, this cure mix is a combination of salt and a small amount, 6% to be exact, of sodium nitrite. Now the nitrite is there to help aid in the curing process and to help rid of the chance of botulism occurring, especially if you're going to do something like vacuum seal during the curing process. It also has a distinctive pink color, and that's to help cooks and chefs alike to distinguish it from regular salt so they don't get it mixed up. So I'm using a relatively small amount, and I've scaled it accordingly with my other ingredients. All right, so we're just going to simply mix this together to create our cure mix. And this is roughly enough to create about 68 pounds worth of bacon. Now, if you want the exact recipe ratio, I encourage you to click the link in the description below, and you too can weigh out exactly what you need to make your own cure for bacon. So now that we have the cure made, let's talk about pork belly. Right here I have some fresh pork belly. This is actually about 1/3 of a full slab. And so we are going to wash this, pat it dry, and then weigh it so we know exactly how much cure to put on there. So I've already gone ahead and washed this. I'm gonna pat it dry. Now the reason why we are washing this is to sort of get rid of any extra scum that can happen on the surface during its packaging process. All right, so I have roughly 3 pounds, 8.8 ounces worth of meat. So for every pound, I'm going to weigh out 24 grams of my cure mixture. Before we put the cure on, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of go through and poke through this cap of fat. Now, this is going to help the cure penetrate through that fat and cure the other side of the meat a little more effectively. And this is something you'll definitely want to do if you have the skin on the pork belly. So after a little math, I know that I need about 85 to 86 grams of cure, which that's a little much. So now we're just going to rub this all over the entire surface of the pork belly. Let me pick some up here. You probably won't have much extra just kind of hanging off of the pork belly. This is enough to really just get the process going. And you really want to sit there and just sort of rub it in and make sure that it's starting to adhere. And this will start having a chemical reaction and begin pulling the moisture out of the slab of pork belly here. So now I'm going to keep this covered and let the cure do its job for about 7 to 10 days. And every other day I'm going to come back and I'm going to overhaul it, which means just redistributing any of the liquid that has come out of the slab and just kind of make sure that it is curing evenly. All right, so just to show you guys, I've got a slab here that I've been curing for about 8 days. And just upon first glance, it's taken on a deeper hue in color, and the meat is noticeably firmer. So I know that this is pretty much ready to go. we just need to prep it for the smoker. Now to do that, we have to allow it to form a pellicle overnight, but first we need to wash it. All right, so we're gonna allow this slab of bacon to soak in some warm water for about 30 minutes. And this does a couple things. One reason being to prevent crystallization of the salt on the surface of the pork belly. Another reason is to help draw out any sort of impurities from the pork belly itself. So we'll let that soak for 30 minutes, we'll pat it dry, and then get it ready to just form a pellicle in the fridge overnight. All right, so now I'm just gonna pat this dry and just get the entire surface rid of any excess moisture. Now to form the pellicle, we're gonna allow this to air dry without being covered in the fridge. And the pellicle is very important for getting smoke to adhere to the surface of our pork belly. You get more smoke flavor when you form a pellicle, basically. So here I have a slab that has dried overnight and formed its pellicle, so now we're ready to go right onto the smoker. So today we are gonna be smoking on the Yoder Smokers YS640S pellet grill. I've got it set to 200 degrees and I've got it stocked full of hickory pellets. Now you can play around with flavors. Apple is a great option if you want something a little milder, but I wanna go for that great Smokehouse, Butcher House flavor, so we're going with hickory today. So I'm just gonna set this on the top rack with the fat cap up. You can do the fat cap down if you want, but I just kind of don't like the pattern of the grates to kind of settle onto the fat, so this is the way I like to do it. Now we are going to just smoke this until it reaches an internal temperature of about 150 to 155 degrees. So let's say that you wanted to impart a little extra flavor, let's say with a barbecue rub. Right before you go onto the smoker is the best time to sort of add those flavors. So today we're just gonna keep it classic and just throw some smoke on it, and we'll see it in a few hours. Beautiful. Look at this golden color. This is about a little over 3 hours into our cook, and I've got the probe in here temping at about 150 degrees. You can see we've just obtained this really beautiful red color. The smoke has really adhered and given us this golden, beautiful color on the fat. And it's not, you know, so far done that all of the fat is rendered out. We're pretty much ready to pull it. Ideally, you'd want to let this slab of bacon chill before cutting into it, just so you can get a really clean cut. However, for the purpose of today's video, we're going to go ahead and just slice into it, crisp it up. It's safe to eat before even crisping it up because we took it to that internal temperature, but let's just get it going. Let's get it in the pan. Get some nice thick slices in there. I'm so excited. Look at that beauty. All right. Well, that's a great sound. Yummy. Yum, yum, yum. Bacon is always a good choice. I can't wait. I'm gonna take a bite from the fattier end. All that hard work, just watching it cure for a couple days. It's crispy. Succulent and fatty. It's got that great salt flavor. just a touch of sweetness. Now I'm ready to like create an infinite amount of dishes. Worth it. All right, well that wraps it up for me today. If you too want to bring home the bacon, check out the link down below in the description. Check out atbbq.com/thesauce if you want to see all of the recipes, tips, and techniques that Chef Tom and I are creating. And if you need to get your own flavors, your own cure, you need to check out some of the grills and smokers we've got, check out atbbq.com. All things barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.